Welcome everybody to season 3 of Flicks Fellas. Welcome back, fellas.
Woo!
I am your host, Joe, joined with my co-host, Kevin and James.
Hi.
Say hello.
Hi, Joe.
What it up?
Oh, I meant to say ciao, everybody, because I didn't end the last season by saying ciao, ciao. So I was going to start this one by doing it, and I didn't. So messed up again.
The one episode that you didn't say ciao, ciao.
The one episode.
You made it 2 seasons.
That's
doing
your
that
tagline,
every
dude.
single time.
I don't know if I did it in the beginning of season 1, but season 2, I definitely did it every episode except for the last one. But before we get into our first episode of season 3, I'm going to ask everyone to please take a second, whether you're watching this on YouTube or listening on a podcast channel, to please go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is the best way to help the show, and we're trying to grow our audience there. Today, we're looking at arguably one of the most controversial movies of 2021, the Netflix original film Don't Look Up, which was written and directed by the very talented Adam McKay, who is also known for directing Vice, The Big Short, and The Other Guys. This movie is filled with a star-studded cast led by Jennifer Lawrence and Leonardo DiCaprio, with support from a long list of people, and I'm just going to rattle them off real quick. We have Meryl Streep, Kate Blanchett, Rob Morgan, Jonah Hill, Mark Rylance, Tyler Perry, Timothée Chalamet, Ron Perlman, Ariana Grande, and Kid Cudi. And there's still other ones, but those are like the big, hard-hitting movie poster names. So, as I said before, this is one of the most controversial movies because critics and fans alike can't decide whether they like it or dislike it. You know, everywhere you look, people either hate it or they love it. And I think you're going to see a little bit of that today in our podcast. Don't Look Up, at its core, is a political satire about an apocalyptic event that is guaranteed to doom the earth and everyone on it. In a very heavy-fisted way, this movie draws direct contrast to two crises that the world is currently facing: global warming and the COVID-19 pandemic. Let's get right on into our first reactions. Kevin is very eager to start this one, so take it away, Kev.
Yeah, I thought this movie stunk. I've told this to you guys multiple times because I didn't think we were going to talk about this movie on the podcast, but this movie was stinky, and it is super divided right now. Like, I see people talking online that they like it, that they don't like it. I just thought that it was a weak attempt at satire, and it wasn't very funny, and it was super on the nose with the point it was trying to make, and I just was not entertained. Like, and it was way too long. Like, way too long. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess, like, some of the performances were good in there. Like, Meryl Streep is just so good with everything she does. I'm not a huge J-Law fan. I don't know if that's a hot take or not.
That is hot. That's
She's
scorching
beloved.
hot.
I don't love her. And like, Leo has gotten to the point as an actor where I'm just watching Leo on screen. I'm not watching his character. Although I thought he was good in this, playing the character, but I don't know. I just didn't love it, guys. It was not there.
Okay. James,
Yep.
shut him
Kev,
down.
I disagree. I think it was a good movie. I think it was fun. I think it was interesting. I think it's an interesting... I didn't think it was a bad satire. You know what I mean? Like, I thought it was, especially because it's so topical on a few different, a few different levels. I think that it's definitely too long. Like, far, 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 far too long. They had too many subplots. You know what I mean? They gave you too many options, like, to take care of The Rock, And you're like... I'm like, okay, like, obviously, like, I know where this movie's going. Can we just take out one of these things and get us there 45 minutes quicker, But overall, I did enjoy I enjoyed there's a lot of 2.5-hour movies we watched that I'm, like, pulling my hair out. This one, I enjoyed it the whole time, It was a little cheesy. It definitely was a little, like, tongue-in-cheek, you know what I mean? Like, with some of the comments that went back and forth, but overall... good display of acting, entertaining movie, very good effects other than the weird CGI robots. I thought that was a little strange. But I had a really good time watching this one. Joey, what do you think?
So, for reference, this movie is only 2 hours and 18 minutes. So it's not
Right, it just
that...
just felt way too long. The pacing was so terrible.
Agreed. It felt very long. It's not ridiculously long for a movie, but did feel very long. I think that this movie, the beginning starts out strong. It's really entertaining. I think it's clearly heavily fisted in what it's trying to do. It's satire. It's not meant to be a serious drama by any means. However, I think in the middle, there are times when they like kind of lose themselves. I feel like if you're going to be a satire, every punch has to hit, and you can't try to like balance like drama, comedy, and there were some moments like that. So I think they did the satire well. There was personally some characters that I really loved, some characters that I hated, and I think it was meant to be like targeted towards the dumbest audience essentially, and be like, we're facing two major crises right now, like shut the fuck up and just pay attention. And like, it's not meant to be like, oh, well, what are they talking about, or artistic or artsy in any way. It's straight up like, this is an issue. This is what how our society is treating it, and what's going on. So there is some real political context there, and I think that was just the whole point.
Yeah, but the
was
movie sucked.
I disagree. I think, you know what, there was some really good, like Jim said, there's a lot of subpoints to it that probably could be cut or shortened, or just even some characters that could probably just be cut altogether. But
like Tim Chalamet.
I did think there was,
Like-
yes, 100%. Timothy Chalamet's character, get him out, no point to it. But it was entertaining. I enjoyed it. I thought there was some good moments to it. And I don't want to spoil anything. I think we should.
I may have laughed at two things in that whole movie, and both were probably said by Timothy Chalamet.
Was it
So,
about the regular
like,
movie?
we
Wrong.
are in very different sides of this
Wrong.
because the rest of the movie fucking was not funny. But we'll get into that more. But there was nothing else funny in that movie.
So this is not a spoiler. This is a very subplot that doesn't really matter, that I just thought was hilarious and like probably the funniest part of the movie. The general charging them for the snacks and then the ongoing circle back to it wasn't
Funny.
amazing. It was so funny.
Wasn't funny.
It was
Not one
absolutely
time did I
hilarious.
laugh
It
at
was
that.
funny.
No,
every time they
every-
brought it up, I got even more mad that it was not funny at all.
It was the best.
Nope.
It was.
Not
I
funny.
think they
The
said
gu-
it. I think they said it one too many times. But like the fact, like it was funny. I think the last time they should have said it is when they were in the office, like the Kate and Doctor Rob Morgan's character,
Mindy?
Doctor. I can't remember his
Oh.
last name. Teddy something. His character, when they're locked in the room, like when Leonardo DiCaprio is like a part of like the larger council, that should have been the last time they made that joke. But it was I thought it was hilarious. Like I was like,
was never
it
funny.
was funny. It was funny, Kevin.
No.
You're objectively
false.
wrong. Ha-has were had by me and Joey. Therefore, you're wrong.
James, you laugh at
That is
everything.
true.
How can we trust you?
Hey,
I gotta say, that's a good point for Kevin, but I will say there were some really good moments here, and there was good acting, and you can't look at this at all with any sense of like realism of the fact that they're trying to be serious actors. They were great acting in a very satirical, funny, open your eyes type of way. A little too political at some points, and a little too on the nose of like mocking direct civilization, where I was like, okay,
yeah. Like
it doesn't. It's not fun when it
heavy-handed.
takes you out of the fantasy of the world and it brings you back to the reality. So like, I like that it was a different issue of this comet instead of an actual like pandemic or global warming, and it was just like the symbolism was all there, and I thought most of it was good. Sometimes I thought it was a little too heavy-handed. Let's get into our first reaction decisions. Kev, I think we all know where you're gonna go, but take us away.
Yeah, the general public needs to just avoid this movie like the fucking plague. But if you're really into movies and you're just like a movie nerd, like you obviously need to have an opinion on this movie because everybody's so split. So go watch this movie. But if you're just looking for something to watch on a Saturday night, do not watch this movie. Avoid it. Keep scrolling. Keep scrolling. Keep scrolling.
Don't look
So
up.
bad.
Don't look up.
This is arguably one of the worst movies we've watched on this podcast.
That is not
It
true.
was worse
Absolutely
than American.
false.
It was
absolutely
it
false.
was worse than American Pickle. 100%.
chance.
Arguably one of the worst.
Kevin,
No chance.
I don't even know if you watched the
Outside the Wire was better
Yeah,
than
it
this
was.
movie. No
Seriously,
spoilers to the next episode, but the next episode.
No,
better
it was
than
not.
this.
No, it was not, Kevin. No.
Yeah, leave, Kev, leave.
Yeah, you're wrong.
But,
you're wrong.
Not wrong.
All right.
Not wrong.
My first reaction.
Maybe a little wrong. That last take was a
My
hot take,
first.
so I'll take that one back.
My first reaction click play. This movie is a fun ride. It is a cool political satire. I think that I disagree with you, Kevin. I can disagree with you.
Both of those statements are so wrong. That it was a fun ride and that it was a good political satire. Both of those things are wrong.
It's a fun movie. Go watch it. It's definitely too long, but it's definitely a click play. Joey, what do you think?
Agreed. I think it's 30 minutes too long. It's not hard to watch. It is entertaining and funny, and I think that last booty scene was probably
Hell yeah.
icing on the cake, but I'm going to press click play. Kev looks confused.
Kev didn't see it.
Might
What
not
scene?
have watched the end credits scene on this one.
I did watch the end credit scene. That was not funny
Did
at
you watch
all.
all of the end credits scenes?
There was not two.
Anyway, there were two.
What?
There was two. I saw
There were
the second
two.
one.
Son of a
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah, it
Are
wasn't
you
funny.
kidding me?
James.
None of that was funny. All
You're
of that
wrong.
was bad.
All right.
Okay, let's end this. You guys have made your statements. Before we get into our first ad, I would like to acknowledge that our Patreon page is now fully up and running. Officially, you can join our fan club. It is the best way to support the show if you enjoy this content and want to help us keep going. Some of the cool things that we're offering are patron recognition. We'll give you a shout out on the episode. You'll be getting exclusive content. We are going to be posting more exclusive content just for Patreon supporters. Some website recognition. Your name will be on our website forever and ever. And some private community contact. We have a Discord channel where you can talk with us, send us movie recommendations, tell us your thoughts about movies, and a lot more. So if you're interested in supporting the show, please consider supporting our Patreon page.